Good morning, everyone. Fun Friday. Do you see how bright that sun is? I mean, I was gonna try and do it this way because the lighting's better, but my eyes, I think, will die. But I wanted to do a video because two weeks ago to the day, I did this video about going to something called USDC that was like a big goal of mine for 2024. And it was super emotional in a good way. I had ideas about going to USDC when I was, about this time last year. And so, when you are type A personality like me, and I put it on my to-do list, my manifestation list, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing, I think, a to-do list and a manifestation list, because I made it something that I'm going to make it happen. And I love that about me. I'm such an athlete at heart, super competitive, but I'm a Gemini, and I'm also the twin sign because I'm also an artist and I'm also super sensitive. So I have this duality within me at all times. I just got done teaching a yoga class and somehow it came up that I was a Gemini, and she's also a yoga instructor. She was like, "Oh, my daughter's a Gemini." She's like, "It's wild how you guys can go from 0 to 100 so quick." And she goes, "And they're always both there." I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're the twin sign for a reason." I can very much shift into being extroverted, charming, witty, chatty, all of that, and then immediately go into I'm introverted and hit a wall and I can't talk to anyone right now. I hit my limit. I'm maxed out, and not talk to you at all. And so many people think Geminis are two-faced when we're not two-faced. We tend to give so much of ourselves in a moment that we hit a wall and we have nothing left to give, not even to ourselves. So we seem like two different people because there's not a lot of balance. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it'll make sense. I lovingly yesterday was talking to a friend about how I started teaching at a place called the Yoga Sangha, and how, it's so wild. I never put that on my 2024 manifestation list. I never was I'm going to go and teach at the Yoga Sangha and I'm going to create this foam rolling class and I'm going to blah, 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 blah. It just kind of came up as an intuitive hit at the beginning of the year and was maybe you should reach out and teach meditation at the Yoga Sangha, because I had come to classes during January. And I was like, maybe I should do that. And then I brought it up and I kept talking about it. And then I finally just emailed and was like, hey, you know what? I hear you guys need subs. I'd love to help sub. I don't really want to teach a class, but I'd sub for you guys. Got an audition in March. Started just subbing, literally just subbing in May. Well, then the summer came and everyone, in a good way, a lot of the instructors took vacation. So I got to teach a ton, almost once or twice a week. I remember the week of July 4th, everyone was gone, I was here. So I taught 10 classes that week. And I loved it. Seriously loved it. I could care less if one person showed up, 2 people. I actually stopped even caring if no one showed up. I just was I love walking to the Yoga Sangha. I love getting my tea. This is a true story because I always have tea. Love getting my tea, coming up to the rooftop, and just enjoying the flow. Seriously, every ounce of me loves it. Just like how much I love ballroom. In that video that I made 2 weeks ago, I said the same thing. I was like, God, everything about a ballroom competition, even the 4 a.m. waking up, I love it to the depths of my soul. To the nail beds of my fingers and my toenails. Wow. I love it. And so when I was talking to another instructor yesterday, I'm like, I never put teaching at the Yoga Sangha on my, quote unquote manifestation list for 2024. And I had no idea how much joy it was going to bring me. I had no idea how much creating this foam rolling class, again, no one showed up yesterday and I still love it. We created reels on how to promote it better and all of that. And I was I walked home and I was I didn't even get to teach, but I'm going to go sit and I'm going to read my book as I sit on the Capitol lawn and just chill out. And I loved it. I loved every single second of it. It makes me calm. It makes me peaceful. It makes me feel everything's going to be fine. I'm stressing so much about this corporate world and whether or not I'm going to hit quota. I stress about ballroom dance and whether I'm making the right choices or not, that taking a break, is that good or bad or right or wrong? And you know what? It doesn't matter if it's good, bad, right or wrong. It just feels true to me right now. And so I think about it because after this class, like I said, the other instructor was like, oh, Gemini's, like, you guys definitely have 2 people in you at all times. Like, you can go from 0 to 100 so fast, like, and back and forth and in between. And I was like, yeah, we can. I was like, I know that. I get that. I'm resonating with that. And so it made me think about these 2 different juxtapositions of, I set a goal for 2024. My manifestation was, I want to go to USDC. Well, I did that, and I worked for it, and I loved it. I'm so glad I went. I learned so much about myself. But I did put pressure on myself. I made it hard, mentally, physically, all of that. I made it this big to-do, like I said, a manifestation list, because I'm an athlete and type of personality. You know, I built it up, I put it on my to-do list, and I broke it down and how I'm going to hit it and all that stuff. So that was definitely led by the athlete in me, the competitor in me. Still awesome. It was still fun. I learned a lot about myself. I learned how much stress I put on myself. I learned how to move through that stress and that pain as well, and how to better handle it next time when I set a goal. So it's not good, bad, right or wrong, better or worse. However, when I compare it to teaching at the Yoga Sangha, which has become equally more joyous, wow, I'm learning so much about myself. Wow, I'm so more trusting with the Yoga Sangha and just letting it unfold how it's meant to. And it's created income that I never thought I could have with yoga. It has created friendships, conversations, mind, body, spirit, spurring ideas and thoughts where I think about it, or I go to a class. Like the instructor that came to class today, I've gone to her classes, and she's said things to me where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm thinking about that as I go into this next step in my life, as I go into my next corporate meeting, as I go into just a walk around the Capitol Square. Like, it's getting me to think about things, focus on things, grow things that I didn't put on my to-do list, that I didn't stress about or put pressure on myself ever. And I'm growing, and it's fun, and it's delightful, and it's juicy. And then there's weeks where I don't teach at all at the Yoga Sangha, and I'm like, oh, is this right? Is this wrong? I'm like, no, I just trust it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I trust the timing of the universe. Yep. Compare that to my USDC. That's a Gemini. That's somebody who's an athlete and an artist, someone who's sensitive and competitive. And I did used to judge myself. And if I didn't put something on my to-do list, then I would put it on my to-do list just to check it off and cross it off, right? Because then I accomplished something. When this Yoga Sangha, I've never felt like I had to put on my to-do list, never felt like I need to check it off the list, because it's this ever-growing, ever-evolving, ever-trusting piece of like, yep, that's exactly how that's meant to go. I don't know why I'm not teaching this morning, but we're going to trust that. I don't know why I showed up today and the yoga instructor who is normally supposed to teach was there. And I was like, well, are you sure you don't want to teach? She's like, no. She's like, it's all working out how it's meant to. And I immediately was like, yep, that's the universe talking through her to me that you're meant to teach this morning. There'll be another day where you're not. Today, you are. We're just going to let it be. I let go of what happens to me, but I'm in direct contact with where I am right now. I'm still going somewhere. I'm still moving somewhere through the Yoga Sangha, but I kind of let go of how it comes to pass. USDC, it's not that I wish I would have done it differently. It's just interesting to take these 2 things, USDC and the Yoga Sangha, these 2 things from 2024, and look at them both and compare them and think about how different my energy is. Where is the stress being carried in my body? What is that feeling about the Yoga Sangha that's a little different than USDC? Both were great goals. Both I learned, both have caused me stress or put me through pain or had pressure put on me in different ways. But I grew in both, and I'm deeply appreciative and grateful for both. But it reminded me, because today in yoga I do this thing where I have people ground into their feet and then move their body in any way they want to just listen to intuition. Like, don't follow what makes sense, close your eyes, just move for 2 minutes, however you want. And I even said, because the instructor was there for the class, and I said, one time I took a class where I was really struggling with my intuition, and this instructor reminded me that, like, it's not supposed to make sense. Sometimes you just really gotta just give into that, give into the not making sense. And I go, and what I forgot was, now that you did it, take time to integrate it. Like, close your eyes. What felt really good about that movement? And in a good way, was there regret? Was the regret of, like, God, I didn't move the way that I really wanted to express myself. Okay, now I know that. So now when I get those hits to move in a way that I really, really want to, I'm going to follow that because I don't like this pain of regret. Or did you have that moment of liberation where you're like, God, it felt so good. I finally, like, did this crazy back bend thing. I don't even know what it looked like, but God, it felt so good. So good. And you're like, again, like a 5-course meal, you're drooling at the mouth because God, you wanted every single bite. You, like, want to relive that moment again because you're like, God, it felt so good to move my body that way. I'm like, that's intuition. There's confusion to liberation and everything in between. The problem with intuition is it doesn't make sense. It's not logical. And only you will know if you followed your intuition. Only you will know if you didn't betray yourself. Only you. I can give you tools, but what I never did before was stop, close my eyes, put my hands on my heart, and ask myself, okay, simple exercise like that. What do I want? What do I need? Either question. How do I feel? And how can I best take care of myself in this moment? Like, I never stopped and asked those things. I never gave myself time to integrate and ask myself, okay, when I was confused, but I did listen to my body, how did I feel? Did I feel that sense of liberation and gosh, oh, I felt so good? Or did I feel that pain of regret of like, oh, that wasn't what I thought. Dang it. Okay, next time I do it, that feeling of regret where you're like, I wish I could do it immediately. Like, I talked to a dance student. She did a Friday night performance and she was like, it just sucked because as soon as we got done, it was like, God, I want to redo. I want to do it one more time. The same thing. Like, can we just pause and go back and do it all over again real quick? And I was like, I know that exact feeling. I was like, I've had that feeling where it's like, you missed that one thing you wanted to do. You're the only one that knows. No one else knows. So did the performance look fine? Yeah, of course it went fine. But I betrayed myself. I then was thinking about that one mistake that I made, and I just, God dang it, I wish I could do it all over again. But that's why it happened, is so that you're like, okay, so next time I do a party performance, how do I be more present so that I don't betray myself? How do I find more moments of liberation? It's the same with my yoga class. It's the same when in the 2 minutes when I make people move their bodies in any way that makes sense to them. You have to get quiet, you have to get still, and you have to say and ask yourself, okay, what felt light and easeful and just like, oh my God, I am shining from the outside in? Like, what really was like giving into that craving in my body? I say it in yoga all the time. Like, what is that last stretch you need where you're like, God, it would feel so good. My yoga practice will feel complete when I do X stretch. And like, so good that you want to relive it again. Like, you're drooling at the mouth. Like how I feel about USDC and ballroom competitions, how I feel about teaching at the Yoga Sangha. Or do I have the pain of regret, the pain of like, dang it, I want to redo it one more time because now I know that I want to be more present in it. Now I know I want to be more true to myself. I don't want to betray myself. I want to just be more present in it. God dang it, I want to do it again. Because when we're following intuition, when we're moving through life, when we're making decisions, choices, whatever you want to call it, making manifestations, accepting where we are right now, but trying to go for more and change, right? Because the only constant in life is change. You will bump up against two types of pain. There's the pain of regret, or there's the pain of discipline. Pain of discipline is tough because in the moment you feel like you're letting other people down. You feel like you're not, I don't know how this is gonna look. You possibly have the pain of putting yourself out there and doing what's true for you, and other people don't like it. Other people are mad that you're changing. Other people are upset that you're not showing up the way that you used to, and it's not their fault. You're changing. They're used to you doing it a different way. So it sucks. It's hard. But the feeling that I feel when I'm in the pain of discipline versus the pain of regret, the pain of discipline sucks in the moment. But I always get back to a couple days later where I'm like, God, I'm so glad I listened to myself and did the thing that like didn't make sense at the time. But now when I look back, oh God, that was so worth it. Oh, felt so good to not betray myself. It felt so good to do what just felt good in that moment. Because there is a pain of regret, and then you want to do the redo right away. There's the pain of discipline. And yeah, the pain of discipline is also scary. I'm not saying it's always rainbows and liberation and you feel free and amazing and beautiful, because like I said, the pain of discipline comes with, I might put myself out there and I might fail, I might fall, I might look stupid, I might be told, if this doesn't make any sense, Katie, why would you do this? Why would you walk away from this? Why would you change this? Like, everything you're doing is just fine. It's working. Why would you change it? I don't know. I just know I can't do this anymore, and I've got to try something different. It's still scary. It's still hard. It still has moments of like, what the F am I doing right now? Like, this doesn't make sense. Universe, what is going on right now? Like, this is my lesson right now? Seriously? Yeah, I have those conversations with the universe all the time. But at least it's those questions. It's not the pain of regret of like, God, I wish I could go back and dance at USDC one more time. I mean, I do still believe that. If you watched my other video on it, I really mean this. Like, I don't like giving my power away, and I gave my power away at USDC. So I learned that. I will never, well, maybe not never, but I won't do it to that degree. I'm going to get better at it, because I know that pain of regret, that pain of going out there and not dancing to my fullest because I was stuck in mind games with other dancers and making it about something that had nothing to do with me, right? That's the pain of regret versus the pain of discipline of like, this sucks, but if I just take care of myself right now and I ask, how do I feel? What do I need? How can I best take care of myself? Those three questions. How do I feel? What do I need? How can I best take care of myself right now? On a moment-to-moment basis. And you start to actually listen to your intuition and follow those hits and follow those ways where you don't feel like you're betraying yourself anymore, where you feel like, again, that pain of regret, that pain of like, oh God, here I go, I'm doing this weird thing that puts myself out there. I might fall, I might fail, I might not hit the goal. I don't know if anyone's gonna show up to this class. Who likes to foam roll? I do. I don't know if anyone's gonna come, but I know I have to do it. I know I gotta put myself out there to the world. Like, I will regret not putting it out there to the world. I will regret not bringing this art into the world. I will regret not bringing my fullest, truest, brightest expression into the world in this moment to the best of my ability. I will regret that more than the pain of discipline, the pain of, yeah, okay, we're gonna put that ego aside because it's killing me right now. My ego's telling me this could go bad, but it also could go really, really well. And I could leap and jump out and the moon could catch me. And at least, even if I fall and tumble, I always have that feeling of satisfaction of like, yeah, but at least I went for it. At least I had courage. At least I was trying to self-love myself no matter what the result was. At least I was reaching for growth, right? I was honoring my body where it is, but I was reaching for growth, right? Rapture, reverence, and grace, present, possible, and hydrated. Like, at least I was really going for it. I was self-loving myself all along the way. I was showing up courageously to reach for growth regardless of the outcome, results, or how the outside world perceived it. And it is hard. Following intuition, it's confusing, but there is liberation. There are moments, and it can start seemingly insignificant when you start to move your body closed-eyed for 2 minutes and you start to take inventory after that, right? Take inventory. What felt really good? What felt like, gosh, I wish I would have self-expressed myself more in this one. I want to redo. Okay, pay attention to that. Because that hit will come again when you try closing your eyes and moving again. It will come again. It's like the whispers of the world that Oprah always talks about. The universe whispers to you until it speaks to you, and then it speaks to you until it yells at you. And then when it yells at you and you still, well, you know what, now it's going to get you into a car crash. It's going to thump you across the head. It's going to feel like you're slamming yourself into a brick wall to listen. But the moving around for 2 minutes, closed eye, is really just a practice. So that when the bigger things, because how we do the little things is how we do the big things. Because when you get to the big things in life and you got to follow your intuitive hits, you need to know what it feels like. You need to know the difference of, am I scared because of the pain of regret, or am I scared because of the pain of discipline? Which one is it? Or what is allowing me to feel like I would be more courageous, self-loving, and leaning towards growth? Or doing things more and more often where you stop and you evaluate. You take inventory and you ask, how do I feel? What do I need? How can I best take care of myself right now? And start to follow what those answers are to those 3 questions. And tune into this thing called intuition, this gut feeling, this thing that doesn't make sense to the outside world, but it will always make sense to you. Maybe not in the moment, but closed-eyed, 2-3 days later, 2 weeks later, you're like, yep, I get it now. It's that inner knowing that people talk about that, again, only you, the person watching this video, only you will know when you follow it or not. I won't even be able to tell you. I can give you hints, I can give you questions to self-reflect, but that's what being a healer is. A healer isn't the thing that heals you. The healer provides you the space. It provides you the reaction. It provides you a conduit, as a conduit for healing, for growth, for transformation, for transmutation, whatever you want to call it. But I can't be responsible for your healing, but I can provide a space for you to do that. I can't be the one that taps into your intuition. It's your intuition, that's yours. But I can give you tools and tricks and tips on how to fine tune it, on how to allow you to self-evaluate, for you to take self-inventory and figure out when you're following it and when you're not. Right? When you're in confusion, how do you get to liberation? Because life will keep whispering to us. Life will keep speaking to us. Life will keep thumping us across the head or making us run into a brick wall until we listen. I just hope I'm the catalyst that helps you listen or fine-tune it a little bit faster than you would if you didn't have me. That's what a catalyst is. It just speeds up a reaction without getting used, by the way, so that the reaction happens faster than it would on its own. That's all. So I hope these 3 questions help you when you're evaluating and taking a little self-inventory of, am I following my intuition or not? I don't know, but let me ask. How do I feel? What do I need? How do I best take care of myself right now? Those 3 questions, quiet, 60 seconds. The best would be 120 seconds, 2 minutes. Quiet by yourself, ask yourself, take inventory. Because I've had both, the pain of regret and the pain of discipline. Both carry pain, but I'll tell you, one has the possibility of you being your brightest, truest, highest expression of yourself. And being more and more self-loving, self-accepting, and self-expressing. And that, that makes me drool like a 4-course meal. That makes me want to soak it up. That is worth it to the moon and back again. So keep listening to your intuition. If you want more ways or you want to work with me, message me, email me, reach out. Otherwise, keep asking yourself those 3 questions. Let me know how it goes. Post in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And the love in me, the light in me, the intuition in me honors the love, the light, and the intuition in you. Namaste. Katie Jane.